NFL mailbag time. First up from Rohit. Trade Jimmy G to the Patriots for, I think you mean third-round pick, and then sign someone like Cam Newton or Dak Prescott, or should the Niners tank for Trey Lance?
To complete the circle of Patriots trade back for Jimmy G for less than they sent him out, and they've got their franchise quarterback, and then the ultimate circle is we'll go sign Cam Newton in free agency, who's played with the Patriots.
Why would the Patriots get worse at quarterback? Ooh, I said it.
Ooh, I'm kind of with you based on this year. I'll say this, Tom. The 49ers better figure this out quick because this is an important, even if you don't make the playoffs this year, you got to find out if Jimmy's the quarterback. And if he's not, that's a team that is built to win right now. They will not hesitate to upgrade this offseason.
From Nico, should the Broncos go and sign a veteran wide receiver?
Veteran wide receiver. The problem is they're not in win-now mode.
Exactly.
I don't think they're in spend money mode. I like their receivers. Judy, you got KJ Hamler. I think, is Sutton still banged up?
He's
out.
For the year.
He's done for the year. But keep working those young guys. You got Noah Fant at tight end. I'm not spending any significant money if I'm Denver.
Producer Sam's a Broncos, and that's why this question managed to get on the show. And he's over there mumbling to himself, yeah, it's bullshit that Sutton's out for the year. He's just upset about it. From Jordan W., should the Cardinals sign Clay Matthews to replace Chandler Jones?
Oh,
Jones, by the way, out for the
done.
season, tore his biceps, needs surgery.
Well, if you're watching live, stay tuned because we got some top NFL free agents. Maybe Clay Matthews is on that list. What do you think? Scheme-wise, do you think that fits there in Arizona? Do you like the idea?
Clay Matthews' role is as a pass rusher. I know that people are like, oh, hey, maybe people should try to you make him into an off-ball linebacker.
It's not
Cowboys fans.
Not 2012.
No, he's an edge guy. The fact that Denver brought him in and they didn't agree to a deal and there's been no interest since is interesting to me. But, yeah, if I'm Arizona, as difficult as it is to actually sign players right now, I would at least explore that. From Nick Boyd, should the Steelers trade Juju since Chase Claypool is playing so well? The Niners, Packers, etc. could all use him.
I'm curious to see what the future of Juju Smith-Schuster is because, A, I have no idea what his trade value is at this point.
Yeah.
You're not getting a first for him, I don't
No.
think. I don't know if you're getting a second. So if that's the case, I'm probably just keeping him and hoping he becomes a bigger factor because you're in win-now mode with Big Ben. And you're unbeaten. Claypool's nice, but do you want to take away a weapon and just be like, oh, let's overreact to Claypool having a 4-touchdown game, and here, you're our number one receiver?
I think next year you might not see Juju on the team, and I know that it might make some sense to say, hey, maybe we can maximize our asset by trading him, but trading away Juju makes you worse right now.
I agree.
It makes you a worse football team, and with Big Ben having maybe a year or two, based on the way old aging quarterbacks tend to play, I wouldn't be trading away one of his best playmakers when you're clearly in the middle of a playoff/Super Bowl push.
I agree with you. So who should sell at the trade deadline? What do you think? What team should be in sell mode? Sam's Broncos are a good example.
Maybe. They don't have that many veterans. It makes it a little bit tricky. The Falcons should blow it up. They should trade guys like Takk McKinley. I think the Giants and Jets should be sellers. Any team that's clearly out of the playoff mix, sell right now as best as you can. This will be the pinned comment on today's video, by the way. So if you get the ad break, scroll on down and get your votes in. From Joseph the student, Titans get Julio Jones for a first, fourth, and Corey Davis.
The Julio Jones trade rumors are becoming the new OBJ trade rumors. They just won't go away. It gets mentioned once, and they just keep the flames keep on stoking there. A first, a fourth, and Corey Davis. Call me crazy. That feels a little rich for a guy who's over 30, and I'm not clearly
and he's banged up.
Clearly, Julio's better than Corey Davis, but he's always got some kind of injury. Now it's actually costing him games, as he did not play last week. If it's just a first and Davis, maybe first, fourth, and Davis.
The fourth that's not going to move the needle.
How about a second, fourth, and Davis?
Okay, I can do that.
Second, fourth, and Davis.
Yeah, I think the Falcons might end up saying no in that scenario, but I think the Titans should pull the trigger on that one. From Nick L., Prince Amukamara to the Cardinals. Do you like the fit? Practice squad right now. Which Amukamara is going to show up, Harrison?
I mean, I'll say this. He declined last year, but I still thought he was serviceable in Chicago last year as like a mid-tier CB2 type where He's not great, but you're not going to lose because of Prince Amukamara, right? Like, it's not like he's the reason, the Bears' defense wasn't as good last year or something like that. I'll be curious to see if he makes his way up the Cardinals' active roster at some point. I know that secondary has kind of had some problems this year outside of Patrick Peterson, so I'm curious to see that play itself out. I was stunned when the Raiders cut him because it's not like that secondary is loaded, so maybe that's a red flag as well.
From Webb's World 1, Steelers draft DTR from UCLA. He means Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the quarterback from UCLA. First off, he's only a junior this year, and unless he suddenly has a massive breakout year, he's not coming out because he hasn't been very good.
I'll just be frank with you guys. He's undraftable at this point.
Yeah,
based on what we've watched, he is an undraftable prospect. Now, he's flashed that crazy comeback against Wazoo last year was fun. He's mobile. When he's cooking, he looks like a poor man's Kyler Murray. The problem is we see that about 10% of the time. The other 90%, he looks like a typical inconsistent college quarterback.
He just might be a fun college football quarterback.
The good news is he's got 3 years left.
Yeah, he wants to go 3 years.
This year doesn't count,
weird.
So he's got 2 more years after that. We'll see what his future looks like.
We do have some deals for you guys, by the way. Head over to chatsports.com/jersey deal. NFL jerseys like the ones you see on your screen, including rookies, are available for under $80. That link will be in the comments and in the description. Chatsports.com/jersey deal. Current players, whatever your favorite NFL team is, they have jerseys available. Oh, by the way, that Browns one is an older jersey. Actually even less than $80.
Ooh,
substantially lower.
That's a great deal right there. Chatsports.com/jersey deal. All 32 teams are represented once you go to that link. Top players for all those teams. Go check them out. Jerseys for less than $80.
Another super chat from Jaden Henderson. Please tell my Colts to release Phillip Rivers.
Regardless of what your thoughts are on Phillip Rivers, Jaden, A, releasing him doesn't help you at all from a financial standpoint. B, I mean, do you want to go back to Jacoby Brissett?
No, you don't.
I mean, look, Rivers was bad this past week. He hasn't been a total disaster this year. Mm-hmm. Now, he's definitely not 2018 Rivers. That was my question coming into this year. Can he get back to 2018 form?
I think he's been closer than 2019.
Yeah, he's been. I think he's been better than he was last year. Last week was ugly, no doubt about it. Remember, he's only played in this offense for 5 games, too, with a limited offseason. Yeah. So let's see how the next few weeks goes. But regardless, they're not going to cut him. Maybe this is his last year of his NFL career, but they're not going to release him.
Robert Miranda says, will Michael Thomas be a top 3 wide receiver?
I mean, he probably already is. The problem is he's been dealing with an injury this year, and he's kind of becoming a diva a little bit.
Yeah, look, I think the knock against Michael Thomas is, he runs like 5 routes. He runs a bunch of slants. And my counter to that is, okay, sure, he runs a bunch of slants. That's fine. So then why don't you stop him? If a receiver can only do one thing, you should be able to take it away from him.
Yeah, if he can't go downfield, then why aren't you pressing him every play?
If he puts up this production on slants, probably means he's good. It's kind of like DK Metcalf of, but can he run a bunch of different outs and creative combo routes?
He doesn't have to.
I don't care. He's 6'4", huge, and runs a 4.4, just throw it vertically, and good things happen. If you're so good in one area, you can be a top 3 receiver.
I'll add one more thing. Have you seen Drew Brees stretch the field much this year?
He can't.
Because I haven't, so this is kind of what the Saints' offense is right now.
From Amir Kumar, when will Josh Gordon be reinstated? I don't know. It's frankly ridiculous that we're sitting here in the middle of October and the NFL's like, well, we don't know. Haven't made a decision yet.
I know sometimes there's behind the doors chatter that just doesn't get leaked publicly, but this is one of those where it's like the NFL is just we'll get to it eventually, right? It got lost in a drawer somewhere in Roger Goodell's office and they just haven't gotten to this one yet. That's what it feels like. It's very strange. I'm going to say yes, but when? Who the hell knows?
From Preto says, Christian Kirk trade to the Eagles. What could one look like? First off, I remember the completely made up and fake Christian Kirk to the Cowboys trade rumors from last year. That was created as what if the Cowboys traded for him? People were like, it's going to happen. I'm like, no,
He got drafted, I believe, in the 3rd round, and I kind of tend to think that's still about his value.
I agree.
I don't think he's done anything to be
second round.
Oh, you're right.
He was
second.
Second round
I
pick.
think he's like a third-round value. Like
within this point in his contract.
He's been pretty good, but not great.
Production hasn't been great this year, but, DeAndre Hopkins is there, so you can
He's a
excuse
serviceable, I'd say he's a league average, maybe slightly below average, number 2 receiver.
So better than a lot of the Eagle receivers.
Yeah, Philadelphia could certainly use him.
Well, as the NFL trade deadline gets closer and closer, we will keep you covered on all of the rumors, real or fake or whatever they are. We'll keep you updated and let you guys know what to believe. So if you want daily NFL videos, hit that big red button and subscribe today. No one will keep you more updated on everything around the NFL than we will right here at Chat Sports. From mere Carlos Dunlap to Seattle for a third or a fourth.
I like it. They need pass rush, and I think that's proper value for a quality vet.
I like the idea of going out to get Dunlap. I have floated many a time the trade for Ryan Kerrigan.
Yep.
I think Dunlap could be very similar. I know Benson Mayowa has been outright probably the best pass rusher for the Seahawks. It's not saying that much. DeMontre Moore has shown some flashes. You don't really have a legitimate number one edge rusher for Seattle. So if you can get him for the Seahawks don't have a third-round pick this year, but if you can get him for a fourth-round pick, I pull the trigger on that.
Maybe like a fourth and a sixth.
Sure, I do that as soon as possible. I think that it would leave you thin in draft capital, but you're going all in anyway.
Yeah, you're winning. You're trying to win now.
From Evan Scott, J.C. Jackson to the Dallas Cowboys.
Take it away.
Guys, look, J.C. Jackson has played the fourth most snaps of any single Patriots defensive back and fifth most snaps overall, and he's played really well. So guess what? You're not getting him. I get it. You want the good player. Why are they just going to trade him?
I think we also have to let go of this idea of Patriots are trading players. They're not tanking. They've showed us they're not tanking. They signed Cam Newton, and he's playing really well, and they think they can win this year, so they're not going to do it.
From Matthew B., Cowboys use Lawrence and Alden at end, along with Poe and Griffin at defensive tackle.
First of all, Poe's bad.
Yeah, Poe sucks. There's no way around it. Look, if you want to kick Everson Griffin inside some, that's fine.
You can try it. He hadn't been very good.
There have been some reps for this Cowboys team where they've experimented kind of lining up, sometimes actually Alden Smith, more as sometimes he's an outright stand-up, defense tackle. It's kind of a weird front, but they have experimented some with getting all three of those guys on the field at the same time. It makes sense to me, but in the end, you're going to have issues until you get an actual disruptive defensive tackle on this team, something we've said for quite a while here.
Look, I'm down to try just about anything at this point, so hey, give it a shot.
Get him on the field. Also, Griffin's been pretty bad too.
Yep.
All right, so who's the most overrated team in the NFL right now? Go ahead and fill in the blank here. Harrison, I'll put you on the spot. What's your answer?
On an annual basis, the Cowboys fit that mold, but I don't know if anyone thinks they're good right now.
Yeah.
So
if you were viewing it from where they were entering the year, I think they fit, but also injuries might get the bulk of the blame there.
Oh, man. I will say the Chicago Bears, which is awkward.
Hater.
No, I like the Bears. I need to see more, though. I will say this. I'm more of a believer that you beat Tampa Bay in the Bucs on Thursday night. That was a quirky game, though. You got down big early. You forced a bunch of field goals. Tom Brady forgot what down it was. All kinds of weird stuff going on. You beat a solid Carolina team on the road this week. Get to 5-1. I'll be more of a believer.
For Mark Kearns, where does Dak sign in the offseason? Price signs the franchise tag with the Cowboys again.
I'd say 90% tag with Dallas, 10% they get a long-term deal done. Less than 1% he goes elsewhere.
The 1% is the Cowboys somehow get the number one overall pick, in which case you probably take
or Andy Dalton
Lawrence.
wins 10 games in a row, which isn't going to happen.
Which I think is even less likely.
That's why it's less than 1%.
From Thaddeus Foley, Le'Veon Bell to the Chiefs? ?
Oh, boy, Tom. I did this video on our Chiefs channel. You see the link below, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. I'll say it's a possibility. If you want more details, go check that out.
Yeah, Bell was released Tuesday night by the Jets. That relationship was a disaster from the start. Chiefs make some sense, Harrison. I wonder if he might kind of wait a week and go, hey, you know what? Let's see if there are any injuries.
Yeah, I think he's going to weigh his options. I think Andy Reid could find use for him.
Yeah.
But I'd say they're more of a secondary possibility there.
From Mitch Hoops, next Colts quarterback after Rivers. He is not currently on the roster is going to be my response to that one.
Yeah, it's not Brissett. The minute they drafted Rivers, that option was out the window. I'm going to say it's probably a 2022 draft pick.
Maybe it's a look, they have a lot of cap space. So if in 2022, for example, Dak Prescott reaches free agency, they're going to be throwing money at him.
Maybe they'll look at Cam Newton.
Of course, he gets
Cam Newton this offseason. Yeah. I'm very fascinated to see what happens with him.
From John Dorman, Matt Stafford to the Chicago Bears.
I don't see a trade happen. I don't think Detroit will trade within division. I'd be down for it. I think the Bears still need to upgrade at quarterback. They're in a weird spot because they're not going to be bad enough to get a good draft pick to get like Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields. Maybe they get Trey Lance, but free agency or trade could be more of a possibility there.